Damn it, Kyle. Would you turn that music down, my sister, Brooke? I shouted back, no way. I'm trying to learn this song on my guitar, so stop complaining. She slammed my door and stomped off to her room. Older sisters were such a pain. Just because she was a senior and I was a freshman, she acted like she was some kind of queen. Screw that. I'll play my music as loud as I want. I kept at it, struggling to figure out this damn song. There's this girl at school, Leah, who I really like. She's not stunning, just really cute. I hate girls who act like they're better than everyone else. That's one thing I can't stand. I want someone who doesn't care about the spotlight or trying to be sexy just to get attention. It's gross. Leah's different, she's a lot like me, if not exactly the same. We've been close since middle school, and now we're both freshmen in high school. We share a love for music, Blink-182, Everclear, you name it. Whenever those bands play nearby, we go together. I play guitar, she plays bass. Along with our friends Tom and Scott, who do vocals and drums, we formed a band. We don't have a name yet, though. We also dig the same movies, big Kevin Smith fans. We recently watched Chasing Amy together. Great flick. But I'm drifting off. The reason I'm learning this song is that Leah and I both love it, and I want to impress her at our next gig by singing it. It's my shot at winning her over. I love her, but I think she just sees me as a friend. Doesn't it piss you off when girls say that? Suddenly, Dad started pounding on my door. Come in, I said. Can you turn the music down before your sister has a meltdown? He asked. But Dad, I'm in the middle of something. Brooke always gets her way, I grumbled. Don't worry, son. Soon you'll get your chance to even the score, he said with a smile and left. I was confused, what was he talking about? Whatever. Mom says Dad's losing it. I went back to my guitar. That night, we ate dinner in the kitchen. Meatloaf. Ugh. Mom made me eat it anyway. I asked if she could drop Leah and me off at the mall tomorrow. Kyle, I'm too busy. Maybe Saturday, she said. No. I've got band practice Saturday. We need to go tomorrow, please. I begged. I can't. Why don't you ask your sister? Mom suggested. Yeah, right. I'm not driving you anywhere, especially with that tomboy Leah, Brooke snapped. Don't talk about Leah like that. She's a good person. I yelled. Dad excused himself. While he was gone, Brooke and I kept fighting. Suddenly, her face blanked for a moment, then she snapped back and said, You know what, Kyle? I think I'll take you to the mall tomorrow. Maybe I'll do some shopping too. I was stunned. 1 minute she's yelling, the next, she volunteers to help. Her face blanked again, then she shook her head. What just happened? She asked. You just said you'd take me to the mall, I said. No, I didn't, she shouted. Yes, you did, Mom confirmed. Damn it! Brooke yelled. Dad returned with a big grin, sat down, and ate quietly for the rest of the meal. What a strange day. The next day after school, I was still struggling with that song in my room when I heard a knock. Yeah? I called. Kyle, it's me. Why's your door locked? Are you naked? Leah teased from outside. Yeah, totally naked, I said sarcastically. Really? Let me see, she laughed. Just kidding, I said, opening the door. She stood there, smiling that cute smile I loved. She wore her favorite jeans and a Blink-182 t-shirt I got her at a concert, a tiny shirt that shrank in the wash and barely covered her chest. Not that I minded. She looked really cute. I knew you were joking, she said. What were you up to? Just practicing my guitar, I replied. So, Are we ready to go? She asked. Yeah, let me tell my sister we're set, I said. We left my room and walked down the hall to Brooke's door. I knocked and called out, Brooke. We're ready. Hold on. I need to grab my keys, she shouted back. Fine, we'll wait in the car, I told her. Leah and I headed downstairs to the kitchen where Mom was making lunch. We're off to the mall, Mom, I said. When will you be back? She asked. Who knows? After the mall, we're heading to Leah's place to party, I said sarcastically. Mom hated jokes like that and sometimes took them seriously. It was a joke, Mom. I clarified. Don't say things like that, she warned. Okay, sorry. So, can you spot me some cash since I'm such a great son who loves you? I tried to lighten the mood. She dug into her purse and handed me $20. That's it, I said, but then noticed her expression. 20 is perfect. Leah and I left and went out to the garage, sitting in the car waiting for Brooke. She took forever to get ready. I started honking repeatedly. 5 minutes later she finally appeared. Jesus. Could you wait 5 minutes? She yelled. Nope, let's go, I said. Fine, she muttered, starting the car, and we pulled out. Hey Brooke, how's it going? Leah asked politely, knowing Brooke disliked her. What do you care? Brooke replied coldly. I was just trying to be nice. Sorry, Leah said, looking hurt. She'd only been polite. I snapped at Brooke, what the hell is wrong with you? Could you at least be decent to my friends? You act like you're mad every time Leah's around. Show some respect. Brooke said nothing for the rest of the drive. Neither did anyone else. When we reached the mall entrance, she dropped us off. We didn't thank her. We just walked inside. So, where first? Leah asked. Comic book store? I suggested. Sounds good. We headed across the mall. I bought some Daredevil comics and the Mage t-shirt I'd been hunting for. Leah picked up a Green Day CD. When we were ready, I used a payphone to call Mom and asked her to have Brooke pick us up. We waited outside for about 10 minutes before Brooke arrived. I opened the door for Leah. So, how was the mall? Brooke asked. Fine, thanks, I said. Did you buy anything, Leah? She pressed. Yeah, a Green Day CD, Leah replied. Good to hear, Brooke said. I was confused, why was she acting so strange? She'd done the same thing at dinner last night. Leah looked just as puzzled. We kept quiet for the rest of the ride. When we dropped Leah off, I told her I'd call later. Then I turned to Brooke. What was that all about? Don't you curse in front of me, young man, she snapped. Excuse me? Who do you think you are, Mom or Dad? I shot back. Never mind. Why is it a problem for me to be nice to your friends? She asked. Nothing's wrong with that. But earlier you were rude to Leah. She was upset, I explained. I felt bad and decided to be nicer, Brooke said. Whatever, I muttered. Back home, I went straight to my room, still baffled by my sister's mood swings. One moment hostile, the next kind. I sat on my bed, strumming my guitar. A few minutes later, Mom and Dad walked in. Don't you knock? I asked. Kyle, we need to talk, Mom said. Did I do something wrong? I asked. No, it's something we need to tell you, Dad said. Okay, go ahead, I said. All right. Around this age, a special gift is passed down to every male in my family. My dad had it, then he gave it to me, and someday you'll pass it on to your son. It's a unique ability. You might have noticed. Brooke acting a little odd lately, being unusually nice to you? That's me using my gift, he explained. What is it exactly? You make people do nice things? I asked, curious. Not quite. Let me show you. I'll use your mom as an example. My parents stood side by my bed. Dad closed his eyes and focused hard. Then, right before me, he began to fade away, disappearing into thin air. Where he'd been, only tiny glowing particles remained. They swirled and then entered my mother's body. She stared blankly for a moment, then snapped back and looked at me. Hello, Kyle, she said. It's me, your father, inside your mother's body. No way, I muttered. I couldn't believe I was looking at my dad through my mom's eyes. Dad? I asked, still unsure. Yes, son. It's me, she answered. How can I be sure? Ask me anything, she said. I thought for a moment, trying to find something only my dad would know. Then it hit me, the way Brooke acted that night at dinner and in the car. Of course. It was Dad in Brooke's body. Everything made sense now. Got any questions, son? She asked. No, Dad. I know it's you, I smiled. Good, she said. I'll let your mom take back over now. The blue particles drifted out of my mom's body and reformed into my dad. Incredible. Impressed? He asked. Absolutely, I said. So, will I be able to do the same? Dad nodded. Holy crap. I'm glad you're excited, he said. So, how do I, I stammered. I assume you mean how do you enter someone else's body? It takes deep focus and lots of practice. After a while, it becomes second nature, like you've always known how to do it, he explained. I was thrilled. I'd read stories and seen movies about characters switching bodies, but never thought it'd happen to me. Part of me always wondered what it'd be like to switch with Leah, just to see through her eyes. She was so cute. Don't get me wrong, I'm straight. If I were a girl, I'd probably be a lesbian, no questions asked. The thought of being kissed by a guy as a girl made me cringe. Dad continued, first, picture the person whose body you want to enter. We'll use your mom as an example. You mean I have to become mom? I asked. Kyle, it's not that bad. I know you're nervous, but I've done it many times, and I actually enjoy it. I hope you will too. Now, focus on your mom. Okay, I mumbled. Sitting next to her, I cleared my mind except for her image. I concentrated hard. Slowly, I felt light, like I was dissolving into the air. It was amazing, like flying. I opened my eyes but couldn't see much. I realized I was those same blue particles Dad had been. Ahead, a bright light shone. I moved toward it until everything went black. Then my senses returned. I heard Dad ask, Kyle? That's when I opened my eyes. I opened my eyes and saw my dad looking at me. Kyle, are you okay? He asked. Yeah, Dad, I'm fine, I replied. Wait, that wasn't my voice. I don't sound like that. Could it really have worked? Was I actually in my mom's body? I was too nervous to look down, but Dad encouraged me, go on, Kyle, take a look. I glanced down, and sure enough, I had chests. This was surreal. I poked one to make sure it was real. Yep, definitely real. I cupped them, lifted them, and watched them bounce back. Strange and kind of fascinating. Dad must have noticed I was having too much fun because he said, all right, Kyle, I think that's enough. Sorry, I blushed. So, how do you like it? He asked, clearly excited. This is amazing. But honestly, it feels weird being in Mom's body, I admitted. That's normal. You'll get used to it. Once you master this, you can jump into anyone's body just by thinking about them. Start practicing on friends and your sister, just don't let Brooke know. That would ruin the fun, he chuckled. He really loved this ability. I couldn't wait to try it on my friends, especially Leah. Dad helped me up, and we walked out of the room. Wait, can I leave Mom's body now? I asked. Sure, whatever you want, he said. Leaving is easier than entering. Just focus on your real self, and you'll snap back instantly. I did just that. I pictured my real body, the one I'd lived in all my life until now. I opened my eyes to see Mom and Dad standing in front of me. That was fast. I didn't even feel the particles like before. This gift was definitely something I was going to enjoy. The next day, I invited Leah and her friend Caitlin over. I had to test out my new power. First, I planned to possess Caitlin's body to show Leah, and maybe someday I'd try it on Leah herself. I just had to experience that adorable little body of hers. I called them, and a couple of hours later, they arrived. I led them to my room and shut the door behind us. I was so excited I could barely sit still. Caitlin was a pretty girl, blonde hair, blue eyes, and a decent chest, maybe a C-cup, but you get the idea. I sat on my bed and explained what I was about to do. They both looked at me like I'd lost it. No, it's real. Don't worry, I'm only going to possess your body briefly, I assured them. Caitlin wasn't thrilled and tried to bolt for the door, but luckily, I'd locked it beforehand. Without warning, I vanished into thin air and slid into Caitlin's body. Opening my eyes, I saw my hands on the doorknob, soft, feminine hands. Awesome. I looked at Leah, who was wide-eyed and stunned, like the life had been sucked out of her. Caitlin, she asked. Yeah, it's me, Kyle. Pretty cool, right? No way, she said skeptically. Go ahead, ask me anything, I challenged. Okay, what was the first concert we saw together, she asked. Everclear. That's when I got you that oversized shirt you wore anyway just to make me happy. You're right. Okay, what's your biggest fear? I remember you told me that, but never anyone else. Spiders. They freak me out, I said, shuddering. Oh my God, it really is you. What's it like? Do you like being a girl? She bombarded me with questions. Slow down, Rack. One question at a time, please, I joked. Sorry, this is just so amazing. Think of all the stuff we could do with this, she said excitedly. I know, I said with one of Caitlin's cute smiles. Hold on, I'm jumping back out now. I focused and immediately found myself back in my own body, with Caitlin standing there looking bewildered. You okay, Ash? I asked. What happened? She stammered. I was inside your body. No big deal, I said. You actually did it? She yelled. I can't believe it. Believe it. Leah saw the whole thing and can vouch for me, I said. But please keep this a secret, I'm only telling a few trusted friends. That's why I told you. Leah nodded in agreement. Caitlin just stood there, still shaken. Hopefully, she wouldn't spill. The next morning, I walked into the kitchen where Mom and Dad were having breakfast. I poured some cereal and sat with them. Have you tried it out yet? Dad asked, curious. Yeah, I did. I took over Caitlin's body to show Leah, I explained. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Just be careful who you tell. If everyone finds out, you won't have any fun, he warned. You're right. I'll be careful, I promised. Good, he smiled. And once you master this, we'll take it to the next level. There's more? I asked, excited. Sweetheart, are you sure we should let him keep doing this? Mom asked Dad. Don't worry, it'll be fine. And yes, Kyle, there's more, he said. All right. I cheered. I was sitting in my room, listening to some good old music. It never lets me down. But I was starting to get bored. I was in the mood for a mall trip. Yeah, the mall sounded perfect. So I called Leah to see if she wanted to go. She said yes. Problem was, neither of us had a ride. I told her to come over anyway and that I'd figure something out, maybe we could take the bus or something. Then a smirk spread across my face. I knocked on Brooke's door and asked if I could come in. She refused. Big mistake. I focused hard on her body. Suddenly, I felt like I was flying again. Maybe I went through the door? Or under it? It's hard to tell when I'm like this. Next thing I knew, I was standing, just in her panties. I thought about covering up but figured, why bother? Honestly, I was starting to get a little turned on. I looked in the mirror and saw my sister staring back at me. Damn, this was hot. I glanced down at my chest and considered grabbing my chest but held back, then changed my mind. Soon, I was lying on my sister's bed, one finger on my clit, the other massaging a chest. Good Lord, what a feeling! I could get used to this. Suddenly, there was a loud knock. Kyle, you in there? You're not in your room. Leah yelled. Damn her timing. I scrambled for clothes, a white t-shirt and tight jean shorts, and slipped them on. Then I opened the door. Leah stood there. Is Kyle in here? She asked. Right here, Rack, I smiled. Oh, Kyle, you're looking good, my friend. Love the outfit. It's just something I threw on. So, what's up? Nothing much. I came to try out your new power. Sounds fun. Let's head to my room. Yeah, she smiled. As we walked, the bouncing of my chest was distracting. How do girls deal with this? I guess not all do, my sister definitely had big ones. We sat on my bed. So, is jumping into people's bodies all you can do? She asked. Pretty much. Why? I don't know. I've always wondered what it's like to be a guy, just to see, not permanently. Leah, don't be shy. I've always wondered what it's like to be a girl. Not because I'm gay or anything, but it's so different. Being male all my life, then suddenly female, it's fascinating. Yeah, but there's more, she said. Like what? This is something I've never told anyone, but I trust you to keep it secret until I'm ready to share. Sure, what is it? Kyle, I'm gay. Are you serious? I asked. Yeah, I think so, she said, tears in her eyes. I kissed her forehead and hugged her. Then she kissed me on the lips, Brooke's lips. It felt amazing. This was what I always wanted, to be with Leah. Except now, I was in my sister's body. How ironic. But that kiss was incredible. She pulled away. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. No, Leah, this is what I wanted, I said. You wanted your sister's body? She teased. Funny, but no. I want you, Leah. I love you so much. Tears welled up in her eyes, I couldn't tell if they were happy or angry. Then she kissed me again and said, Kyle, I love you too. I've always wished we could switch bodies somehow, so we could be together. I'm tired of being a girl, with everyone telling me to fix myself up and look pretty like the others. If we switched, you'd be female, I'd be male, we'd be together. Wouldn't that be great? You know, now that you say it, yeah. Deep down, I've always wanted to be you. You're so cute and different from other girls, and I've wondered what it'd be like. That's exactly what I'm saying. When I found out about your gift, I thought this was our chance, like maybe now we could finally switch places. But then I learned you can only enter bodies, not swap them, she said, tears still falling. I get it. But maybe there's a way to switch. I'll ask my dad, he's the one who really knows how to use these powers. I'll see what he says. Really? You do that for me? She asked. Leah, I'd do anything for you. Anything. Thank you, she whispered. Then we held each other, hugging for what felt like hours. Dad, can I ask you something about my gift? I said. Sure, buddy. What's up? Is there any way I could, actually switch bodies with someone? I asked. So, you're curious about switching bodies, huh? I was going to tell you later, but since you asked, yes, you can. Is it easy? No. It takes a lot of hard work and practice. You'll need a willing subject to practice with, someone close, like a good friend, Dad explained. He went on for about half an hour detailing what I'd have to do. Thanks, Dad. I know just the person, I said as I left. The next day, I called Leah and told her to come over quickly. I had big news. She came as soon as she could. I shared my plan and what Dad had told me. She was thrilled. Please don't tell me you're joking, she said. No joke. This is real. We're finally going to get what we've always dreamed of. Wow, that's amazing. I know. But it's going to take a lot of hard work and time, all right? Anything. Good. Let's sit on the floor. Okay. We sat cross-legged, facing each other, staring deeply into each other's eyes. Now, we're supposed to clear our minds and concentrate hard, I said. I fixed my gaze on Leah's eyes, imagining being her, seeing through her eyes. I closed my own and focused even harder. I felt a sudden chill, like I was leaving my body, floating. I kept my eyes shut, fighting to maintain focus. Then the cold faded. I opened my eyes slowly, and there I was, sitting across from myself. It had worked. It worked. I yelled. Then, suddenly, I was back in my own body. What happened? She asked. I thought we had it. Sorry, I think I broke concentration. I got too excited. After entering each other's bodies, we're supposed to keep our eyes shut for at least 10 minutes to adjust, I explained. Okay, makes sense. But wow, that was awesome. I've always wanted this, she exclaimed. Me too, Rack. Me too. The next day, we tried again. We sat in my room, staring at each other for who knows how long, determined. I gazed deeply into her eyes, imagining being her, having her body, just like before. Then the familiar floating sensation came, the feeling of leaving my body and moving into another. It was incredible. I stayed still for about 15 minutes, my mind racing. I wondered what it'd be like to live as a female permanently. Would I stay with my family or Leah's? Probably mine. I think Mom would love having a daughter. Dad would likely support me since he gave me this gift. Hopefully. I decided to open my eyes slowly. The first thing I noticed was the two curves pressing against my new t-shirt. Man, I was loving this already. Chests felt amazing. I glanced over at Leah, now in my body. Seeing myself like that, through her eyes, was one of the scariest things I'd ever experienced. The face I'd seen every day was now on my best friend. She looked just as amazed. Wow, she breathed, flexing muscles in wonder. I ran my fingers over my soft, feminine skin. My face, smooth, no need to shave anymore. Legs were another story. I stroked my silky, shoulder-length brown hair. Pert plus? I joked. Yeah, she said with a smile. Then we just looked at each other. Kyle, I really have to thank you for this. I truly do. This is everything I've ever wanted. And my dad too, he always wished for a boy. He even tried raising me like one, but I was a girl, and nothing could change that. But now, he finally has the son he wanted, and I'm the boy I've always dreamed of being. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you so much. Tears streamed down her face as she leaned in, burying it against my chest. My chest. It felt strange, having my old body resting on my new chests, but I let it happen. In fact, I started crying too, not out of sadness, but out of pure happiness. Happy that I could live my life as a beautiful girl, and knowing I gave up my body so she could be happy. In the end, it worked out perfectly for both of us. I think I'm going to like being Leah. I really do. So there we sat, crying together, imagining our new lives ahead, knowing this was just the beginning. If you appreciated this story and wish to show your support, don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content.